Shalom, 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 my brothers and sisters of the nation of Israel. Welcome to another episode of The Awakening, where we give you what you need so you can wake the hell up. Going over current events that's going on in the world today with hopes and regards of uplifting our brothers and sisters, helping them to awaken to this truth even more, to pay attention to the things that's going on in this world. We appreciate everybody tuning in who will tune in. And I'm Brother Ananias with my brother Benaiah, who will soon be on. And we are A.O.I, the Awakening of Israel. And it's an honor and a privilege to come before you as always to give you another edifying lesson. But before we get started, we want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, Yahushai being his Son, who the world calls Christ. And through his strength, sacrifice, and example, we are able to be here today to be edified and uplifted in the spirit. So make sure that you're paying attention today. Make sure you get your Bibles out. Make sure that you're taking notes, because we're going to go down a couple of different current events that's going on into today's topic is called ChatGPT sermons, gender abuse, and regenerating skin for robots. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but we're going to get into it nonetheless. And hopefully by the end, it makes sense to you and you be ready to go find this out for yourself. But nonetheless, let's get it started. We're going to start off with this article from End Time Headlines. It's a good website that you can go to find out a lot of different things that's going on in the world that they really don't speak about on the news. But nonetheless, this article is called Robots Could Go Full Terminator After Scientists Create Realistic Self-Healing Skin. So as you can see, it's a replica right there or a wax model of the 90s movie, The Terminator. But we're going to read this article. It said, robots could soon be cloaked in human-like synthetic skin, similar to cyborg assassins of the Terminator movie franchise, after Stanford University researchers developed an ultra-realistic self-healing material, according to Fox News. Researchers have been studying and developing convincing skin materials for robots for years, with Stanford professor Zanan Bo touting the first multi-layer self-healing synthetic electronic skin back in 2012. So they've been working on this for a minute, as you can see. It says more than a decade later, Bale and fellow researchers have taken their studies even further into the future. Layers of synthetic skin that can now self-recognize and align with each other when injured, simultaneously allowing the skin to continue functioning while healing. Now, this is something similar to what you would read about watching these movies, especially Wolverine or whatnot. Bear with me right quick. All right. But this is crazy. This is foolishness that only Esau and these other nations would come up with. You're trying to come up with synthetic self-healing skin that heals itself for robots. So if they're doing it for robots, know that they're trying to do it for humans as well, or people, But it's foolishness, as we can see. Let's keep reading. It says, Shalom, King. It says, we achieve what we believe to be the first demonstration of a multi-layer thin film sensor that automatically realigns during healing. Christopher B. Cooper, Stanford physical doctor, PhD, student and co-author of the study, told SWN. I'm guessing that's some type of news reporting. But it said this is a critical step toward mimicking human skin, just like I was just speaking of, which has multiple layers that all reassemble correctly during the healing process. Now, where have we all seen that before? Where have we seen this before? Let me show you right quick. I'm gonna bring something else to the screen right quick. We've seen this all before. Hell, we watch movies. I'm gonna show you exactly where they get it from.
You all right?
This is exactly what they're trying to do. Trying to recreate X-Men. Trying to put this on the robots. Why would you think they would do something like this? Is it just for fun, for kicks? You know? The spirit is not upright in these individuals, in Esau. You know what I'm saying? This is what they're trying to do, y'all. Imagine if you got robots running around like that when you shoot them, blow them up, they reheal just like the Terminator. You can't damage them, you know? They're trying to create X-Men, mutants. But you would say, hey, that's some type of conspiracy theory. I'm going to show you something else that you might not have thought about. All right, bear with me. Check this out. Now, this is this movie G.I. Joe they had came out with a couple years back. Pay attention to what's going on.
Brought you some news.
The guy in the suit is actually a clone or a guy masquerading as the president.
You're about to be out of the picture. And by out of the picture, I mean alive on Earth. Got a little too close to Mount Olympus. Huh? Gotta strike them down. They'll find you out there, Ted. No, I don't think so. It's the beauty of nanomites. Here, take a look.
He said the beauty of nanomites. Self-healing skin. Now, you see what they just did. They showing you in the movies exactly what they're trying to get to. Why would they be working so hard trying to create this if they didn't have some type of agenda to use it for? These are the things that they're trying to put on these robots. You'll never know who's doing what. Just like we were talking about earlier with the X-Men. One of the characters in there, I think her name was Mystique, she was able to change to whoever she seen. And nobody could tell the difference. Same thing you just seen right here with these so-called nanomites or nanobites. You know?
Flawless microtechnology.
Flawless, micro.
Recess over.
I just wanted to bring that out right quick and go back to the article. All right. Matter of fact, let's get Psalms chapter 64, verse 6, because the Bible actually speaks about these individuals, letting you know their mindset as to why they do the things that they do. You know?
All right. The book of Psalms, chapter 64 and verse 6. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep.
Is what?
And the heart is deep.
So every one of their thoughts is deep, you know? We don't think on that level, you know what I'm saying? Not that we can't, but the level that they think on is wicked as hell, evil. Just like the scriptures say, their spirit is not upright in them, you know? Every thought that they have is deep. They go too far on everything, you know? Like you see in this picture right here. They want to create a robot that look like a human so it can come back to kill humans. That's crazy, you know? Trying to prevent something in the future. You thinking that far in the future, before you even got to that point, you want to create A.I. What was the theme in that movie? The Terminator. They wanted to create robots to do the work for the humans, but then the robot was so advanced, it started killing the human. So then they had to create a man that looked like a robot to go back into the past to help the human defeat the robot. That's overthinking everything. That's how they think, because the thoughts of all of them are deep. You know what I'm saying? Just like the scriptures say, they are wiser than Daniel. We talking about Esau, so-called white man. Not that they smart, but they thoughts are deep. You know what I'm saying? Where they overthink everything. That's why they always having meetings, are considered to be think tanks. You know what I'm saying? But let's go to Psalms 33 and 10. Psalms chapter 33, verse 10. Even though they creating all these wicked acts and wicked inventions, wicked devices, let's see what the Lord said about it.
Book of Psalms, chapter 33 and verse 10.
Uh-huh.
The Lord bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. He maketh the devices of the people of none effect.
Read that one more time, King.
The Lord bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught.
The heathen are the people outside of the nation of Israel. So Israelites, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, pay attention to what we reading and bring it out so that you can be built up in the spirit with wisdom, knowledge, and discernment to understand who your enemies are and how they think. Read that one more time, King.
Psalms chapter 33 and verse number 10. The Lord bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. He maketh the devices of the people of none effect.
You see that? Even though they be thinking these wild and crazy inventions, the Lord controls all things. But even though they think they're going to bring it to destroy us, the Lord said that he going to bring it to naught, and he makes the devices of the people non-effect. They ain't going to have no effect on us, To do the thing that they envision is one thing, but what the Lord got in store is another, So we can't be fooled by the wickedness of our enemies, but we have to pay attention and see what they have brewing or what they got up their sleeve. And this right here is just an article to show you how deep they go and where they trying to take their so-called science. They trying to create self-healing skin for robots, not for the people, but eventually it'll be for people. But right now for the robots, But that's all I wanted to bring out on this article. We're gonna continue to move on. All right. And bring up this next article. And like the title said, is dealing with church sermons from ChatGPT. And this is something that just happened here recently. And matter of fact, let's just bring it up. This is another article found on End Time Headlines. But you can find it anywhere when you just type it in on Google or whatnot. But it says hundreds attend a church service generated by ChatGPT. Now, for anyone who knows anything about that, that's another form of AI, artificial intelligence. So we're going to read this article and get into it. Can you read that, King? You need me to blow it up? Okay, all right. All right, so I'll read it. Let me blow it up some more. It says, the artificial intelligence chatbot known as ChatGPT asked the believers in a fully packaged St. Paul's Church in the Bavarian town of Fuhr to rise the pews and praise the Lord. The ChatGPT chatbot, personified by an avatar of a bearded black man on a huge screen above the altar. Now, why would they use an Israelite brother to be on the screen? If you ain't been paying attention here lately, they starting to use us more and more to promote their wickedness. Even back in the day, they wouldn't allow us to do certain things. Now, in order to an attempt to deceive the elect, they want to put our people on the billboards everywhere, on all the commercials, on all their ads. They always got us in the mix, trying to promote their wickedness. All right, but I'm going to keep reading. It says, then began preaching to more than 300 people who had shown up on a Friday morning for an experimental Lutheran church service almost entirely generated by AI. So it's 300 people decided they want to go to this church to see what an AI sermon would sound like or be like. So this is what the guy said they got on the screen, so-called black man. Says, "Dear friends, it is an honor for me to stand here and preach to you as the first artificial intelligence at this year's convention of Protestants in Germany." The avatar said with an expressionless face and monotonous voice. Excuse me. The 40-minute service, including a sermon, prayers, and music, was created by ChatGPT and Jonas Simmerlein, a theologian and philosopher from the University of Vienna. I conceived this service, but I rather accompanied it because I would say about 98% comes from the machine, the 29-year-old scholar told the Associated Press. So we're about to read what he actually did to get this off the ground. It says the AI church service was one of hundreds of events at the convention of the Protestants in Bavarian towns of Nuremberg and the neighboring Fur, and it drew such immense interest that people formed a long queue outside the 19th century neo-Gothic building an hour before it began. So you had people lining up down the sidewalk like they were going to a concert to see what this was all about. That's one of those wonders that the scriptures be talking about. And matter of fact, let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. And it reads, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." So we can't be ignorant of Satan's devices, because the way they would present that to us, the way that they would present that to the public, our people would say, "Hey, that's something neat. That's something cool. I want to be a part of it." But we're being ignorant at the same time to the devices that Satan has put together to try to deceive the people, deceive the masses. So it says, going back to the article, the convention itself in Deutsche Evangelische Kirchentag in German takes place every 2 years in the summer at a different place in Germany and draws tens of thousands of believers to pray, sing, and discuss their faith. They also talk about current world affairs and look for solutions to key issues, which this year included global warming, the war in Ukraine, and artificial intelligence. So what I want to show now is actually a reaction or a video clip of that situation unfolding. So bear with me right quick. All right.
Und vergib uns unsere Schuld, wie auch wir vergeben unseren Schuldigen. All right, this is what it looks and sounds like to attend a mass led by artificial intelligence. Hundreds of churchgoers attending that service during Germany's Convention of Protestants. The 40-minute service was put together by a 29-year-old theologian and philosopher from the University of Vienna. He says 98% of that mass was the product of ChatGPT, but the congregation said the avatar just didn't have the warmth that they're used to.
So you seen all the people that were in there attending that service just to see how a robot would teach or preach, And on top of it, they had a brother on the screen as well. But there's other videos that you can watch pertaining to this sermon that'll actually show you more in-depth features. But let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 24. Because a lot of people say that, look at that and be like, well, that's pretty cool. I can do this, I can do that. But that's deceptive. If you can just tell a computer, hey, I want you to create a music video, or I want you to create a video message with me talking, saying I need $100 because I owe this amount of money to so and so. You're not physically saying it, but a robot can generate that image or that video and send it to whoever you want to send it to. They're doing it all around the world right now. They got all type of ads and marketing on these different social media platforms where you can actually earn money by using things like this. And what do you think they're going to be doing at churches? You know, most churches use these types of features. I forgot what you call it, but they set up one individual camp, or not camp, or a facility building, one location, main location, and they have all these different separate entities, but they at one particular time they all lock into this one place and they watching a screen of a pastor or a deacon or whoever's teaching. So they listen to one main guy from several different locations. And at those different locations, what are they doing? Gathering money from the people that's there. Excuse me. But these are the things that we have to pay attention to. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 24. And it reads, "For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they should deceive the very elect." So a lot of our people, and especially the other nation, will be deceived by this, thinking that it's some type of cool feature, putting it off on their kids, sending their kids to school to be taught by this ChatGPT and other AI platforms. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. But we can't be fooled by these things. These things right here will start to take over after a while. I mean, think about what happened when the so-called pandemic happened. Everything was shut down. Had the social distancing. If you were at certain jobs or whatnot, you were not allowed to travel anymore. Everything became something that was done when you had your meetings on Zoom calls, Google Meets. Everything was online. And you can't tell who is who or what is what, But this is the wave of the future. This is the deceit that Satan is putting out there, and we have to warn our people about the things that are going on. You might not find it to be offensive right now. That's how they always play it. They put it out there as something sweet, some kind to numb you down, basically, or numb you up. So when it actually hits the scene, you've already been exposed to it several years in the making, and it's nothing to you. Same way that they try to influence the kids with with this Pride Month and with other features, and we're gonna get into that later on as well. But just wanted to bring this out to let our brothers know what's going on, our brothers and sisters, to let them know what's going on in the world. They actually having church services in different countries, even though we know that the church buildings and the services, Christianity and all these different religions are vain, wickedness, lies, deceit. I just want to let our people know this is the wave of the future right here. 300 people lined up for this. All right, so we're gonna move on from there, go to the next thing. And this next article gonna be dealing with the exact implication that would be coming from those churches spewing a message. And what's going on this month, for those who don't know, Pride Month. This is the direct fallout. These are the things that fly under the radar that our people don't pay attention to. So this right here is a radical California bill that they trying to pass on the low. It says a radical California bill could do this scary thing to parents who don't affirm trans kids. All right. It says a radical bill being hotly debated in the Golden State threatens to label parents as child abusers if they decline to affirm their son or daughter's sexual confusion. That's wicked in itself, but we're going to keep reading. It says the AB 957, which has already passed California State Assembly, will require judges who are overseeing custody dispute with transgender children involved to favor the mother or father who supports the child's so-called new gender identity. Parents who choose to affirm their son or daughter's biological sex are considered out of bounds and out of luck. At the root of this dangerous legislation, it is a foundational belief that the constructive and the compassionate thing to do when it comes to gender confusion is to go along with whatever the child is feeling at the moment. This premise is not only destructive, but also short-sighted and foolish, and on several levels. So what they actually trying to do is to pass a law that if you don't allow your child to pick what gender he or she wants to be, then you could be labeled a child abuser. Let's check out this video right quick.
A key aspect of the affirmative approach is that it's child-led. So it's not child-centered, it's moved beyond that to being child-led. So the child will lead the judge, the lawyers, the parents, the teachers, the therapists, and any other involved adult in their life. And the child will make the decisions. And everybody around that child will be facilitators to the child's decisions. The kind of premise of this is the child knows themselves, but anybody who knows children knows that sometimes they need guidance. They need help, and they need the parents sometimes to say, no, that's not the right thing for you. I know you really want it, and it's not the right thing in any context. And now for the state of California to bring in a bill based on this new approach is so high-handed and reckless. It doesn't need to. It's presumptive.
This is what we have to deal with, ladies and gentlemen. A wicked society, a wicked kingdom that we have to survive in, or have to put up with the wickedness on a day-to-day basis. And as we see, things are not getting any better. In fact, they're getting worse as time goes on. All right. So I'm gonna read this in 2nd Ezra chapter 4, verse 30, and it reads, "For the grain of the evil seed have been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning, and how much ungodliness have it brought up unto this time, and how much shall it yet bring forth unto the time of the threshing come." So it's letting you know that even though everybody had that mindset in the beginning thinking that it was just Eve's fault that we went off as a nation or as civilization or as people, it was also letting you know that the evil seed or grain was planted in Adam from the beginning. And it says, and how much ungodliness have it brought up unto this time, and how much shall it yet bring forth unto the time of threshing come? The time of threshing is that judgment day, the day of wrath, when the Lord come back to slay the wicked and save the righteous. Verse 31 says, "Ponder now by thyself how great fruit of wickedness the grain of evil seed had brought forth." So you got to ask yourself, since the time of Adam up until now, how much wicked fruit has been grown and spread throughout the earth? You know, when you see acts like this being passed or even thought about or considered, that lets you know how far society has fallen, you know, or how wicked this society is, where they letting the kids dictate everything, a child. And the ones who are in charge making the decisions are the same ones with that pedophile mindset, you know, who would actually let a child decide if they want to be a girl or a boy, or try to label the parent as a child abuser because they don't let the child rule over them. This is the society that we're living in right now. Let me go back down and read some more in this article, because I'm sure there's some more wickedness in it. It says cases of gender dysphoria or gender identity disorders have skyrocketed in recent years. I wonder why. Why is this happening? Sociologists, excuse me, report that much like teen suicide, gender-confused children run in clusters. Why? Because they ain't being taught anything. All we doing as parents is sitting them in front of TVs and phones and letting the phone teach them, let society teach them. And there's no truth in this world. No truth for the Most High. No truth, period. They being taught lies day in and day out, where they hate themselves. They don't know what they want to be. This is being taught through social media. So stop giving your children damn phones and tablets all day and TVs to sit behind. Teach them, talk to them, do what the scriptures say. Teach them other scriptures day in and day out, according to Deuteronomy 6 and 7. But I'm going to keep reading. It said, in essence, if one child begins to question or act out, others soon follow. In some cases, it becomes trendy and exotic to experiment with drugs and surgeries. If we don't see that going on today, I don't know what you've seen. Everybody trying to get BBLs. Trying all these different drugs. Because they don't know how to live. They confused. And that's how this society wants us to be as a nation. But it says California bill that could punish parents who don't affirm children's gender is reckless. In reality, it's terribly sad and also a direct affront to God's beautiful design for humanity. My heart breaks for children struggling and for those parents struggling alongside them. The organization I lead, Focus on the Family, exists to help moms and dads guide and provide the critical help needed when children are in this type of crisis. You got to think to yourself, what the hell really going on, man? Are they really trying to help or are they pushing that? But let's go to Psalms 94 and 20 right quick. Psalms 94 and 20. Because as we can see, these are the things that they try to put in the law. Just like when Obama was in office, we know what he passed and put in the law. And it flipped everything upside down and multiplied wickedness in the earth. But let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 94, verse 20. And it reads, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law? So they frame mischief by law. What good could possibly come out of them passing this law? Nothing. They know that. Everybody who would see or read about this know nothing good will come out of it. But it's the wicked thoughts that come out of our man's mind that do these things. You know what I'm saying? Let's is that all I want? I'll keep reading. It says culture, though, is leading and encouraging children down a dangerous pathway by affirming their sexual confusion. In fact, some medical practitioners and activists have even coined the deceptive term gender-affirming care. Even they know it's wicked. Gender-affirming care. To describe the dark deed of the irreversibly mutilating and altering children's bodies. You see that? They got terms trying to coin their wickedness where they basically are allowing doctors to mutilate and alter the children's body. Basically, if it's a boy like D. Wade's son want to be a girl, they can go in and chop his rod off so he can be a female, run around and claim to be a female. Gender affirming care, that's what that is. This is a wicked society that we live in. But your president is pushing that, and that's who y'all voted for. Shouldn't be voting for no oppressor anyway. But a lot of our people were lining up, happy to get that sticker and standing out in the cold, rain, sleet, or snow to vote for Biden and Obama for wickedness. Voting for any of them presidents because they ain't never did a damn thing for us. But keep reading. It said, what makes this even more tragic is that sociologists, tell us that a scientific majority, upwards of 80% of children who experience this confusion will eventually psychologically revert back to their biological gender. Wow. So it said, even though they might be feeling one way as a child, it said 80% of the children who experience this confusion will eventually revert back to what they were created to be. But when you let them go off and do what they want to do and cut their rod off, hey, you damning them for the rest of their life. A male, you cut his rod off, how he gonna reproduce? How he gonna get the kingdom? Because once you do that, you can't get the kingdom. You know, let's go get that right quick. Deuteronomy chapter 23. Deuteronomy chapter 23. And let's see. Verse 1. Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 1. He that is wounded in the stones or have his privy member cut off shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. Shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. So why are you parents out here promoting this wickedness? You damning your children from the get-go. Stop letting your children dictate their future when they don't know nothing. You letting them, they born a boy, you letting them be female at 5, 6 years old. It don't matter what age they get to you. If you agreeing with it, you just as wicked as they are. But you damning your child whether you know it or not. Especially as an Israelite, you preventing your child from getting into the kingdom. Think about that. Cutting his rod off. You preventing that child from getting into the kingdom. I know what you're thinking. That's in the scriptures. Yes, it's in there. Everything outside of the Bible, they go against everything that's in the Bible. Think about that. But I just wanted to bring that out as well to show and let our people know that that's on the brink as well. That's coming. You see how fast and how powerful these alphabet folks are moving, or how powerful they have become, and how widespread they are. They are the CEOs, they are the politicians, they are the councilmen, the presidents. They are the ones who sit in the power seat right now. So please believe that they're going to come with as much wickedness as possible in these last days to deceive our people, to get us to stay in sin, because they know they only got a short time. Understand that. But I'm going to go to this last video, or not video, article. And then that'll be it. But this last article is dealing with prophecy. All right. As you can see, the title is this is another end time headlines article, but you can type it in on Google, it'll pop up. And it's dealing with a Christian preacher. This is an Edomite. Christian preacher arrested for quoting Bible verses at crowd gathered for Pennsylvania Pride event. So he's standing out there yelling scriptures, and he was arrested. All right. Says a Christian street preacher was arrested for protesting an LGBTQ pride event, only for the charges to be thrown out when the local DA agreed that detaining him violated his First Amendment rights. All right. Now, you see how that transpired when dealing with an Edomite. Let that have been one of us. We were going in there. We were going to sit some days in that cell. But I'm going to keep reading. It says Damon Atkins, 41, was seen on camera holding a sign at the Pride event on June 3rd in the city of Reading that read, Jesus said, go and sin no more, and was quoting Bible verses at the margin. Police came over and confronted Atkins, who pointed out that he was on public property. The Daily Mail reported that the officer can be seen telling him while it is public property, he should let them have their day and respect it, referring to those celebrating Pride. Atkins can be heard replying, know who's cheering for us, the people who are in hell. So you do you, I am going to do me. So he was saying, you do you, I'm going to do me. Oh, they got a video. Let's check it out right quick.
A Christian man in Pennsylvania was arrested at a pride rally in Reading, Pennsylvania, in less than a minute. It's really shocking video when you see it. And we're talking now to the man who was arrested. His name is Damon Atkins. He joins me now. Damon, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk to you about this because it's really, honestly, it's just really remarkable how quickly all of this unfolds. And I want to start here by just watching this clip because it all happens so fast. And in the clip, you can hear Damon going back and forth with the officer. And remember, he has literally just arrived. Watch.
Looks like some more men just showed up to support us. This cop's going to give him a hard time.
You don't have to say it. I don't. God, this is public property. With respect. Oh, I'm respecting it. That's it right there. You know who's cheering for us? The people that are in hell. So you do you, and I'm going to do me. This is public property. You. God is not. That's it. God, this one.
And there he goes. And Damon finds himself in cuffs. So I wanted to talk to Damon here about what happened and what was said there. I mean, there you can see in the video, it is very short interaction. And so, Damon, what was the...
It's coming, ladies and gentlemen. You brothers who go out and teach on the highways and byways, it's only a matter of time. So make sure you're getting your study on, getting your read on, getting as much knowledge as you possibly can, because after a while, you ain't going to be able to get that knowledge on highways and byways. But these are signs of the times. Let's go to the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 7. The book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 7, and it reads, "And they asked him, saying, Master, but when shall these things be? And what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass? And he said, Take heed that ye be not deceived. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and time draweth near. Go ye not therefore after them. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified. For these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Then he said unto him, Nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines, and pestilence, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. So these would be the signs of the last days or end times. But what I wanted to get out of there was it's going to be famines. Let's go to the book of Amos, chapter 8, verse 11. The book of Amos, chapter 8, verse 11. And it reads, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord God, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the word of the Lord. So it's going to come a time where we are not going to be able to go out to the highways and byways, where they're going to keep framing laws by mischief, trying to do away with the scriptures, trying to do away with the Bible, shutting down the YouTube pages, all the social media platform where you won't be able to teach. It's going to be a famine of the word. It's coming. And right now, these are the early stages of what's going to happen. You see it happening with Edomites going to war against other Edomites for wicked agendas, you know. So it's going to be a famine of the word coming up shortly. Be prepared of these things. The Lord is making it manifest to show you these things, not for you to ignore them, but to pay attention and take heed. So instead of slacking and being lazy, while you got the time, the opportunity to learn and build yourself up, build your family up, build your spirit up, and you wasting it, hey, pay attention to the signs of the time, because it's gonna come a time where you're gonna get hemmed up just like this Edomite is, where you're gonna have to rely on the scriptures, on the precepts, in order to know how to deal, to keep your faith strong, to keep your mind strong. Otherwise, you'll be right back in the world doing God knows what, because you don't know how to deal, because you were not studying. You were not taking advantage of the time that was given to you. This grace period. You're not taking advantage of it. You're not paying attention to the signs. You're doing everything but what you're supposed to be doing. And it shows. But from there, let's go to John chapter 16. Because just like that cop was doing in this video, he thought he was doing something good. And that's how a lot of people are going to be in the last days. Go to the book of John chapter 16. We're going to start at verse 1. It said, "These things have I spoken unto you, that ye should not be offended. That they shall put you out of the synagogues. Yea, the time cometh that whosoever killeth you will think that he doeth God's service. And these things they will do unto you, because they have not known the Father nor me. But these things have I told you, that when that time shall come, ye may remember that I told you of them. And these things I said not unto you at the beginning, because I was with you." So Yahushua letting us know what's going to happen. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's going to happen. But in the event that it does happen, these individuals will be thinking that they have done a good service. Like that cop ran up on him as soon as he started saying something out of the scriptures. I don't even know if he actually quoted the scripture or not. But as soon as he said God, the cop turned around and grabbed him and put the cuffs on him, thinking he was doing a good service, protecting the pride movement, thinking he's doing something good. That's how it's going to be in these last days. Your family, your friends, your children will even turn on you to think that they doing something good. Hey, think about how they was offering folks free donuts, free beers, tickets to a game just to get a shot a while back. And people was lining up for gift cards, for stickers, to get a shot. They bribed them, and they was lining up to get these things. So imagine what they'll do for the brothers and sisters that's keeping His truth, or keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, performing His truth, walking in His truth on a day-to-day basis. Think about what they'll do for you. They put their own life in jeopardy for a damn donut. The damn the jelly-filled donut with the Bud Light, to go see a damn Cowboy game. They put their own life in jeopardy, not knowing some people did it without no reward, without no bribery, just a lie. Some people did it just off hopes and dreams, aspirations of living a longer life, trusting in the enemy. Think about that. So when it comes time to turn our brothers and sisters in, what do you think they're going to do? Think about that. But from there, let's go to Psalm 64 and verse 8. Psalms chapter 64, verse 8. Because you seen the dude out there, what his name, Atkins. He out there protesting basically against the pride, gathering or parade, but he out there protesting against it. He bringing scripture out against it. Let's go to the book of Psalms chapter 64, verse 8. And it reads, "So shall they make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away." So verse 9, it said, "All men shall fear and shall declare the work of Yahweh. for they shall wisely consider of his doing. So right here is a perfect example of Satan divided against Satan, because it don't matter that he got the book in his hand, you're still an Edomite. You're still wicked as hell. You know what I'm saying? And you trying to go out there and speak the word of our Messiah or our God to more wicked Edomites. Like that's going to justify you. But you have been fooled by that strong delusion of thinking that you're doing something righteous. But the Lord tell you in Psalms 50 and 16, why do you even have my covenant in your mouth? Matter of fact, let's get there right quick. Psalms 50 and 16, and it reads, but unto the wicked, Yahweh saith, what hast thou to declare to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing thou hatest instruction and casteth my words behind thee? So the Lord asked him, what the hell are these other nations doing with my covenant in their mouth? I didn't give the law to you. I didn't give my words to you. Why are you speaking my word? But you trying to use my word to speak, to fight your battle against more wicked or your own people. The hypocrisy. But let's go to Matthew 12 and 26 right quick. Because as we were talking about earlier, that's Satan being divided. And Yahushua spoke on that. Let's go to Matthew 12 and 26. And it reads, and if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And so when you see these things happening in the last days, understand that the kingdom that they have, their rulership is coming to an end when they fighting against each other. Because for the longest, they were in unison when it came to dealing with us. They still are for the majority. But you can see it more and more today as time goes on, how they are battling against each other. So that lets you know what? That their kingdom, Satan's kingdom, is falling, crumbling. Because when you read in Job 9 and 24, it said what? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Only wicked individuals will allow these parades of this month to even exist or pass laws for this foolishness. Only the wicked would do that. So we know that this earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and the ones who push that agenda, they are part of it. And they are basically the Edomites. Even though they use so-called Barak to pass the law, they wicked as hell. And that's the agenda being pushed. So with that being said, this is what another episode of The Awakening, where we give you what you need so you can wake the hell up. And I want to end with one scripture, Ephesians chapter 5, verse 14. Been another episode of The Awakening, giving you more current events so that you can understand what's going on in the world and see some of the things that are not being talked about on the main news channels, so that you would wake up in these last days. So I'm going to read Ephesians chapter 5, verse 14. And it reads, wherefore he saith, awake, thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Yahushua shall give thee light. So we got to awake from the dead and arise from the foolishness, the wickedness of Babylon the Great, and come back to doing what we are supposed to be doing, which is keeping these commandments, laws, and judgments, having the faith in Yahushua, teaching our brothers and sisters, learning, studying on a day-to-day basis, applying on a day-to-day basis, but coming and shaking off the filth of this world. You know, I'm your brother Ananias for A.O.I, the Awakening of Israel, and I appreciate everybody tuning in that did and will. You know, keep up the fight, keep enduring until the end. Remain steadfast and unmovable in this truth, always abounding in the work. Never give up, never give in, but keep pushing. And on that note, I say shalom, peace and greetings to my brothers and sisters of the nation of Israel. And I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua for the abundance of all things. I appreciate everybody tuning in. And on that note, I'm out of here. I love you.